The world. Fox News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
If you're watching on Twitter and you happen to see me sit down, it's because my hair is killing me today. I mean, you know, you get up sometimes and you have a headache or you have a foot ache. Well, I'm having a hair ache. So if I sit down, you know that's what's happening. If you happen to see that live on Twitter at Hot News Talk Radio's live feed. And then, of course, we have the archive feed. You are listening to Hot News Talk Radio 1240 a.m. Hope everyone had a great weekend outside of the rain and the rain and the rain and the rain. The air show did get canceled for Saturday, and I'm sure that the show went on for Sunday. Could not make it down there Sunday, but I'd like to thank the Wings Over North Georgia folks for, you know, participating with the station here and helping us all out, that we're all going to go down on Saturday and see exactly what's going on. But it was just a little rainy, a little cloudy, and it would have been a soggy mess down there. So hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope you listened to the race yesterday, the NASCAR race. Why? Because we are, who is we? We are Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, the official NASCAR station, the only NASCAR station here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And if you happen to be at home, you could listen to it at maybe hotnewstalkradio.com. Or maybe you were out. Maybe you decided to do some shopping or go to one of the, you know, home improvement stores or do something like that. And so you could just throw it on your smartphone. You just download the TuneIn app, type in Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. And guess what? You can hear us anywhere, live and in person. I'd like to shout out to my lovely and beautiful wife, Miss Paula. Happy anniversary. I hope that you have a wonderful day. It has been a wonderful time together. So if you see her out, shake her hand and say, bless you, my dear. You are going to heaven because we know who you live with. So happy anniversary, dear. I hope you have a wonderful day. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook at Hot News Talk Radio. Got to get that Hot News Talk Radio theme. Tonight, there's a big throwdown. I mean, a big debate. That's right. It's the Muslims versus the Christians. Winner take all. This is going to be a ladder match. And you should go down and hear exactly what they're going to do. And, you know, who is the religion of peace? Is it the Christians or is it the Muslims? The debate is tonight and tomorrow night, and it starts at 6:30. It'll probably go to about 8:30 or 9. They've cleared the chairs off the stage. They cannot use a chair in this debate as far as hitting one another with it. No brass knuckles, but it is going to be a bare bone fight to the finish as the Muslims versus the Christians. And that's going to be at Derthick Lecture Hall on the UTC campus. I believe that it's right next to the new library. And we are working, maybe, who knows, we may be carrying that live. You don't ever know. You know, that's the stuff we do here because we have local ownership that cares about our listeners, that cares about the issues of the day. And we can do those things with local ownership. Did you see, I hope you're watching YouTube today, because the one and only DT, man, he was throwing them down. He was mixing and scratching. He had his new headphones on, and he is Jam Master DT in the house. He's throwing it out about local Nooganomics. I mean, he had it going on. So maybe you need to go back. If you didn't get to watch it, maybe you're just waking up, because I know a lot of people like to wake up with me. I like to wake up with me. And so if you're just waking up, you need to go back to YouTube, Hot News Talk Radio on YouTube, and watch him rocking the mic with the big white headphones. Man, I loved it. It was awesome. He was spinning his yarns. Okay, back to NASCAR. Big race in Dover, and this was an elimination race, which means you had 16 in the chase. And after this race, they cut it to 12. And Kevin Harvick won Dover, had to have the win to get into the 12. And there's, you know, Jamie McMurray didn't make it. Neither did Jimmy Johnson. But we're going to go through who has made the 12. Now, the next cut will be at 8. They'll cut it down to 8, and that'll be in 3 races, and then they cut it down to 4, and then it's, winner take all. Okay, Kevin Harvick's number 12. Little E, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is number 11. Ryan Newman comes in at 10. Kyle Busch at 9. Brad Keselowski at number 8. Jeff Gordon, number 7, and he moved up. Kurt Busch is number 6. Martin Truex Jr., because we wouldn't want to get him confused with Martin Truex Sr., is number 5. Carl Edwards at number 4. Denny Hamlin at number 3. Joey Logano, number 2. And Matt Kenseth is number 1. So on Sunday, we're going to be carrying 3 NFL games. That's what happens. See, when NASCAR goes to Saturday night, and it's on that, it's going to be on that weird NBC station again that nobody gets. So you need to listen to NASCAR here this Saturday night. It's from Charlotte, and I think the race begins at 7:30. So on Sunday, you're going to have 3 NFL games to listen to. Man, you can't beat it. I mean, you like sports? We've got sports here. You like sports? You have a good weekend? You have a good sports weekend? I'm guessing if you're an Ole Miss fan, a Georgia fan, or a Tennessee fan, you are wishing that this weekend would have never, ever, ever, never, ever happened. Those teams did not have an enjoyable weekend. And, we have a great sports show. It's from 1 to 2 here. It's Clutch with the one and only, the fabulous. He wants to be called the fabulous Keon Rose, Mr. Fabulous. And his Longhorns, man, they got run over by a TCU truck that I think still running over them. So I'm sure he's going to have a kind of a solemn voice today. And, that's going to be hard for him because his Longhorns lost. And we're going to go through the AP Top 25. We're going to get into the Arkansas-Tennessee game. As you know, I am a huge Arkansas fan and not the biggest Tennessee fan, but I want to try to give a little analysis on what I thought about the game and what I thought about the 2 coaches and where they're at and what their futures are in the SEC. And I was going to go through this regardless if Arkansas had if they didn't win or if they had a won. I think the 2 coaches and the 2 programs are really mirror images of each other. And we're going to get into that. We're also going to get in the top 25, but Georgia, wow, that Alabama-Georgia game was something to watch. And, you couldn't think it'd get any worse. Then you turn over and you watch the Florida-Ole Miss game. And, 2 teams ranked very high. Ole Miss number 3, Georgia number 8. And neither team really shows up when they were both favored. Georgia just, if Alabama plays like that the rest of the year, I feel sorry for everybody, including my Hogs next weekend. Alabama looked good. They looked like a professional team out there. And Georgia's not a bad team. Now, the good thing about, Georgia, Nick Chubbs did break Herschel Walker's 100-yard record, consecutive game record, 100-yard consecutive game record on Saturday against Alabama. So that was good. He had a nice long run that put him over. But still, Georgia was not in it at all. Not even in it at all. And the Tennessee-Georgia game is going to be very interested this week as the Georgia Bulldogs travel to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. And then you had Ole Miss favored by a touchdown. And I know Keon Rose and I from Clutch talked about it on Wednesday. We felt like that it might be more than a touchdown. We both did. We felt like, why is it only a touchdown? Well, Florida showed us. They took Florida to the woodshed. They really did. And that's, that was really surprising to me. I know it was surprising to Ole Miss, but Ole Miss beats Alabama, and then 2 weeks later, they get shellacked by Florida. And I will say this, Florida had the ugliest uniforms on that they could have found. I don't know where they went and got those, but you need to take them, put them in a trash can and burn them. They were terrible looking. Another good game was Clemson and Notre Dame, as Clemson has to kind of hold off at the end last second to keep from Notre Dame tying it. We'll go through the standings because the AP Top 25 poll is out. There are some major changes with all the different losses and wins that we have talked about. And this just come in from our program director. Part of this I can't say on the air, but the other says, he says we're going to have 4 NFL games on Sunday. So we have 4. So make sure that you listen Sunday if you enjoy the NFL, and I'll find out what 4 of those are so we can get them out to you. Hey, we're going to talk about Putin. Oh, Putin's up to it again. He's kind of rubbing Obama's face into it. Isn't that odd? That's really odd that he would do that. We're going to get into Ron Paul. He says there's a huge bubble and it's going to burst and we're all going to die and it's going to be terrible, terrible, terrible. Might get into some drone news because the FAA has missed a pretty important date where they just kind of went, oops, it went by and we didn't know what we were supposed to do. Going to have all that going on. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Tennessee, Arkansas football, and then we're going to go through the AP top 25.
After some patchy morning fog, you expect partly sunny, dry, and warmer weather for your Monday. Getting better out there, highs upper 70s. Tonight, fair, lows into the upper 50s. Now for your Tuesday as well as the midweek, more nice weather on the way. Lots of sunshine, highs upper 70s to near 80. Account Temps provide salary ranges for more than 375 accounting and finance jobs. Learn more by visiting accounttemps.com/salary center. That's Account Temps, a Robert Half company. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Costa, host of the Costa Report, every Sunday at 9 a.m. My guest this week was the former Secretary of Education, Mr. William Bennett, whose controversial new book titled America the Strong is getting ready to hit bookstores this month. Don't miss a thought-provoking one-on-one conversation with William Bennett this Sunday at 9 a.m. on the Costa Report, right here on AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Here you are, working to keep your customers happy and to manage your cash flow. IRS problems are the last thing you need, but here they are, flapping about you like vultures. Get help from Eric Pelton and his team of accountants at E.J. Pelton Company. Audits, letters, proposed return changes, 1099s, penalty threats. Pelton Tax Resolution Services brings peace of mind and helps you keep more of what you've earned. EJPelton.com. Offices on Brainerd Road and in Saudi Daisy, just north of the Bilo. That's E.J. Pelton. Call 622-3156. Think ahead. 622-3156.
Hey, all you gun enthusiasts! Carter Shooting Supply has just bought a crazy load of guns and is having a crazy huge sale event going on now. A huge inventory of Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, and Taurus, all on sale. Taurus guns have a mail-in rebate for $25 to $50. All long guns and all ammo on sale too, just in time for hunting season. Come in and take advantage of this crazy huge sale event going on now at Carter Shooting Supply, or shop from home by going to cartershootingsupply.com. Highway 58, Harrison. Check our prices before you buy.
Are you tired of working in corporate America, or have you recently lost your job and would like to consider owning your own business? If you are, please call me, as I can help you look at franchises or business opportunities that fit you, the economy that we're in, and the type of businesses that are right in the greater Chattanooga area. After I help my clients find the right opportunity, I also help them find the best way to finance the business, including paying yourself through the startup phase. If you would like to learn more about opportunities that may be right for you, please call me for a free assessment. My name is Bruce Krebs at the Entrepreneur Source. Phone number is 423-875-5621.
If you have the DTs, the shakes, because your phone is on the fritz, you have nomophobia. You need help. Your telecom doctor is in. Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall. Cell Surgeon yanks open the ribcage of your phone, pries out the dead heart, and puts in the beating life that you lead on your cell phone. Broken screen, phone not charging, water damage, battery given out? Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall next Old Chicago Pizza. Check us out on Facebook. Open Sunday. Cell Surgeon. We bring your phone back to life. Mention Hot News Talk Radio and get 10% off.
This is America Now with Meghan McCain.
Al Gore running is crazy. You're flying around in your private jet all over the world, and you want average Americans to care about the environment. Don't you think you should be doing your part as well?
Meghan McCain, weekdays at 7 p.m.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday. Beautiful Monday. Man, the weather's nice. Fall is in the air. Football's in the air. And this Sunday, we're going to be eat up with football. NASCAR will be on Saturday. Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, is going to have football. We're going to have 4 games. 4 games. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 on Sunday. So if you're an NFL fan, you need to be listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. Or maybe you need to follow us on Twitter or Facebook. I think you need to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Hot News Talk Radio, and go to Facebook and just send Keon some love and say, your poor old Longhorns, they lost. Maybe in 2020 will be their year. All right, let's go through the top 25 right quick. Ohio State remains number 1. TCU is up from number 4 to number 2. Baylor jumps up from 5 to 3rd. Michigan State falls from number 2 to number 4, and I think that's right. I like that top 4. Number 5 is Utah. Wow, they're up 5 spots from 10. Clemson jumps 6 spots from number 12 to number 6. LSU number 7. Alabama goes from 13th to 8th. Texas A&M at 9th, and Oklahoma went from 15th to 10th, because there's a lot of losses in there. But here's probably in fact, it is the biggest mover of any team in the top 25. They go from number 25 to number 11. That's the Florida Gators. Number 12 is Florida State. Number 13 is Northwestern. Number 14 is Ole Miss. So Ole Miss falls from 3 all the way down to 14. Notre Dame, after getting beat by 2 points by Clemson, falls from number 6 to number 15. Stanford at number 16. USC, and that's the University of Southern California, is number 17. Michigan goes from 22 to number 8 to number 18 after another shutout of Maryland. So Georgia falls from number 8 to 19. UCLA, who really got beat by Arizona, got manhandled, goes from 7 to number 20. Oklahoma State is number 21. The Iowa Hawkeyes, after beating Wisconsin, slides up to number 22. Cal is number 23. Number 24 is Toledo from the Mid-America Conference. And number 25 is Boise State. That's your top 25 from the AP. And now let's talk a little bit about Arkansas and Tennessee. Watched all that game. It was not a pretty game. Comedy is not pretty, and neither was the Arkansas-Tennessee game. But it just kind of, while I was going and watching this, I noticed that you have 2 programs that have really mirrored one another, and 2 programs that hired coaches that have really never, ever built a major program back. Arkansas, after Petrino and his fiasco, and then John L. Smith coming in, was down. It really fell off the ledge. They go from a 10-win season to a 2-win season. The confidence of the players was really, not there. The confidence of the fans wasn't there. And so you bring in Brett Bielema, and he comes from Wisconsin, which he followed Barry Alvarez. So the program was already on track. So he steps in and keeps it on track. But when he comes to Arkansas, he has to rebuild a program, a fan base. He's got to instill the winning attitude and the how to win. The same thing with Butch Jones at Tennessee. You had Derek Dooley, who was just a terrible coach. Terrible coach. And then the Lane Kiffin fiasco. So Butch Jones comes from Cincinnati, and he had inherited a program that was successful, and he kept up the success. But it's a whole different animal, first of all, when you're in the SEC, which I don't think either coach is SEC worthwhile coach. They're not that caliber of a coach. And then you're asking them to rebuild a program, and you're asking them to rebuild a program that has high expectations, whether it be Tennessee or Arkansas. The fan base expects to be a player in either the East or the West. So I think both coaches are under the gun like that, but I think also, I think they're out of their element. Now, can they learn and come into their element and be a great SEC coach? Absolutely. Will they do that? I don't know. I see a lot of coaching mistakes. I see teams that do not have that fire and that eye to not only win, but to knock you out when you win. You look at the great programs. You look at LSU. You look at Alabama. You look at even Georgia. And you look at Florida. Those three programs right now are probably the best, or four programs are probably the best four programs in the SEC, and they have that killer instinct. Okay, so we're up by 20. We're going to beat you by 30. We're going to beat you by 40. And I don't see that in the way Tennessee is coached, nor is how Arkansas is coached. So I think that's very, very odd that you would go out and get, and you know, more so in Butch Jones, he was really an unproven coach as far as can you build a program and can you win the SEC. Now, if you look at Brett Bielema's resume coming from Wisconsin, a Big Ten school, he'd been to the Rose Bowl 3 times, he had won, you know, he had a resume. But I think it's so different, and both of these guys are learning it. More importantly, the fans are learning it, to build from such a down program. You know, when your fan base is down, when everyone that's a part of your program is used to losing, it's hard to change that. So when it comes to these close games that Tennessee has lost and Arkansas has lost, and you got two programs that aren't used to winning, it's almost like the one that wanted to lose the worst lost. And, you know, Arkansas beat Tennessee. Now, is it a big win for Arkansas, and is it going to, you know, elevate the program? I don't think so. I know the national announcers were saying this, you know, one team will go to greatness and the other team, you know, will go the other way. I don't think that. I think the schedule for Arkansas is just horrendous. You know, Tennessee's schedule does get a little easier on the backside of that, so I think they can put together some wins. I think Butch Jones has recruited great. Is he a good game manager? Probably not. And I think Brett Bielema just needs to keep his mouth shut. You know, you're adding a lot of locker room stuff when you're out there running your mouth. So there's my analysis of the Tennessee-Arkansas game. It's probably not what a lot of people thought. Thought I'd come on here and gloat and say Arkansas is the greatest team ever. They beat Tennessee. It is nice that I don't have to hear the Tennessee fans for another 4 or 5 years in that head-to-head matchup. I will say that. Was blessed that evening. So I just have to remember what I wore all the way down to my underwear and socks. So I make sure I wear that every game. Arkansas has a tough challenge against Alabama this week. And then Georgia comes to town for Tennessee. I don't envy either one of them. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
After some patchy morning fog, expect partly sunny, dry, and warmer weather for your Monday. Getting better out there, highs upper 70s. Tonight, fair, lows into the upper 50s. Now for your Tuesday as well as the midweek, more nice weather on the way. Lots of sunshine, highs upper 70s to near 80. Account Temps provide salary ranges for more than 375 accounting and finance jobs. Learn more by visiting accounttemps.com/salary center. That's Account Temps, a Robert Half company. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Social media, we're on that. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook, at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Download the TuneIn app and follow us anywhere at any time. AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, and myself for all the action.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably run for president of the Southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd have had it made.
NASCAR, Laura Ingraham, David Tulis.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Coast Guard search teams looking for the cargo ship missing in the Bahamas say they found the body of one crew member. They believe the Alfaro did sink during Hurricane Joaquin.
What we have to assume as search planners is if the vessel did sink on Thursday and that crew is able to abandon ship, they would have been abandoning ship into a Category 4 hurricane.
The Coast Guard's Mark Fedor says they'll continue the search. 33 were on board. After record rainfalls in South Carolina, residents are worried that conditions could even worsen.
That's really the concern, that we're just going to continue to see more water coming down across areas already experiencing flash flooding, in addition to river flooding and also along coastal areas, beach erosion and coastal flooding from saltwater.
Fox meteorologist Maria Molina. Columbia, South Carolina had 6.8 inches of rainfall on Sunday alone, easily sloshing past the record. Fox News. We report, you decide.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Absolutely. Okay, Keon is texting me and sending me Twitter messages. Say, stop talking about sports. Stop talking about sports. Okay, Keon. He's the man on Clutch, our sports show that goes 1 to 2, Monday through Friday here. After me is the one and only Digital Drive. And that's with the adolescent. And I hope you heard his show on Friday. He was giddy as a little schoolgirl with a new Cabbage Patch doll. I mean, he was just as giddy as he could be. We're going to find out at the break exactly what he's going to be talking about and what's going on. Did you listen to David Tulis? You know, he's on from 9 to 11 now, Monday through Friday. As he says, he does the heavy lifting. He was rocking the white headphones. If you're watching us on Twitter, he was rocking these. He was Mix Master David. I mean, he was jamming it up. I mean, he was rocking the mic. I hope you're listening to all of our local programming. We've got a great local lineup. We have Sean Hannity from 3 to 5. And then at 5 o'clock, we have the only local all news, traffic and weather for an hour to make sure you get home okay. And it's pretty simple. It's 12:40 a.m. If you're in your car driving home, 12:40 a.m. or hotnewstalkradio.com. And then we have Cowboy Up with Tex, the one and only. Oh, yeah. He's back in the house. Went from snake wrangling to wrangling cattle. Now he's wrangling listeners. So that's what he does. Putin, you know, our favorite Russian friend, he and Obama get along so well, says Putin is sending 150,000 soldiers to Syria to wipe out the evil Islamic State. And this is from the UK. Of course, you know, they're going to give us the news because, you know, our news organizations over here, we don't want to say anything bad about the president. You know, the biggest wimp in U.S. history. It says Vladimir Putin is preparing to send 150,000 troops to Syria in a bid to wipe out the evil Islamic State once and for all. Now, I'm sure Barack Hussein Obama is saying, now, please, Mr. Putin, please stop it. It's getting out of hand. You're killing my Muslim brothers. The Russian leader is reported to mount an enormous military mission to take control of the terror group's stronghold. Now, you really think he's doing it for that? I don't. The city is a self-declared capital of ISIS in Syria and is patrolled as many as 5,000 jihad members. Well, I'm thinking that 150,000 that Putin's going to lay on them, those 5,000 don't have a chance. It says Putin is set up to mobilize the 150,000 reservists who have conscripted into military action this week. So Putin, he's going to get on with it. He's going to start kicking butt and taking names. Really what he's doing is he is making sure, Assad stays into power, because I think also Iran has they've got about 40,000 troops there now, and they're sending another 10,000. So there's going to be 200,000 troops on the ground, and he's doing it. You know, I'm sure he's telling everybody, hey, I'm doing it for ISIS. And then our fine president, Barack Hussein Obama, who I'm sure will be watching the debate tonight. And I know this. We're going to do our best to carry the Muslim versus Christians debate, which is tonight and tomorrow night. We're going to do our best to carry that. Now, I think it starts at 6:30. So if you can't make it down to the UTC in its Dethick Hall, and that's right next to the library, I believe. If you can't make it down there, you can listen to it at Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240, which I'm sure that's where the president will be listening to it. I am sure, making sure that his Muslim brothers are treated with respect. But it's going to be an all-down throwdown. I mean, it's going to be a throwdown. It's going to be a slobber knocker. Muslims versus Christians. Tonight, they're going to see if the Quran is a peaceful book or a violent book. I could probably, let's see, I can have that debate right now. It's a violent book. There you go, in a debate. And then tomorrow night, they're going to debate if the Bible is a peaceful book or a violent book. Well, okay. I'm going to guess the Christians are going to win this. That's just, my money's on the Christians. I think the Christians are favored by 21. I'm going to take the points, and I'm going to take the Christians. I think they're going to kick the Muslims' butts. Okay, so we got Putin, who's all over Syria. I mean, he's doing, they're flying all these sorties where they're doing these bombing runs, and he says, hey, we're trying to wipe out ISIS. And I think he flew 60 over the weekend, and like 10 were in ISIS, but the other 50 were, against Hassan's major rebel force that we train and we back. And what is our president doing? Oh my gosh, he's killing our guys. Well, I guess we need to, maybe we can send John Kerry over there. He was such a great negotiator with Iran. Then maybe we can send Kerry over there. Hello, how are y'all doing? It says all of this comes a day after the Russian jets obliterated 9 ISIS outposts in just 24 hours using bunker buster bombs. This is the first time really that Russia has exerted itself out of any country outside of the former Soviet Union. So this is going to be interesting. He is filling a void in the Middle East that we've left. And I am one that don't think that we need to be there, but I don't think the way we went about getting out is right either. We've been in the Middle East for a long time, and it's a very hot political potato. I mean, it's hot. It's like that baked potato you take off the grill and you accidentally grab by your hand. I mean, it's hot, and it's going to be that way always. But I think us just moving out, pulling out, and then encouraging all of this Arab Spring was not the best way to do that. It's amazing that the smartest man in the world, our president, who won the Nobel Peace Prize on what he might do, has done anything but brought peace anywhere. To the Middle East, he hadn't brought peace. To America, he hadn't brought peace. He's divided us more than any other president. But they gave him, right after he was elected, they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize for what he may do. That just boggles my mind. Political correctness at its best. So we got the Middle East is blowing up. I mean, this is going to be interesting. Russia's, they put 150,000 troops there. I'm guessing that they're going to do more than just help Assad. What they're going to do is end up taking some of the major oil fields in the northern part of Iraq and Syria. And I would guess, since America's done, a lot of the work in Iraq, look for the Russians in a couple of months to be occupying Iraq. I mean, it makes sense. Or if they're not, then they're propping up the Iranian government so that they can occupy it. Then what happens? What happens to Saudi Arabia? What happens to Jordan? What happens to Israel? And our president sure as heck won't back Israel. I mean, he won't even think about it. Our Muslim president, he doesn't like the Israelis. But you've got Egypt. I mean, there's just a lot of, if you look at the region, do we need to be in there the way we were? No. Should we have pulled out slowly? Yes. Did what Barack Hussein Obama do? Was it right? Nope. No. Now remember, the big debates tonight, it's going to be at 6:30 at UTC, and it's going to be Muslims versus Christians. They're going to do the Quran tonight. They're going to do the Bible tomorrow night. So get down there. We are doing our best to have that for you. So I'm sure that if you're listening to Cowboy Up with Tex at 6, he's going to let you know. And I would guess that Russell Stroud, our news director, I put a call into him to see when he may know, but I know he's busy. And the adolescent may know, as soon as we find out that that's a for sure thing, we're going to let you know, because this would be this is something we need to listen to. And if you're out and about, you can grab the TuneIn app on your smartphone, whether it be an Android device or an Apple device. Just download it. You can listen to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, anytime, anywhere, and you can listen to this debate. Maybe you're going to go watch someone play at the East Hamilton middle school game tonight. Maybe that's where you're going to be when you want to listen to the debate. So you can kind of cheer both. You can cheer for the Christians. Yeah, go Christians. And at the same time, you can cheer for the Hurricanes. So there you go. See, we make it easy for you. We're very portable. We're like that trusty lunchbox. No matter where you want to go, we'll go with you, because we're Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. And I'm Mr. Happy here on the Mr. Judd Show. We are going to talk about Ron Paul says the bubbles are all over the place. He said it's like having your own little bubble machine. They're about to all burst. We're going to go through some of that. We may get you some, we want to end the show on the high notes, and we might talk about some things you need to do to kind of, get yourself feeling good. Don't beat yourself up and stuff like that. This is what we do on a Monday. It's a beautiful Monday. Not a cloud in the sky. Not a contrail in the sky. The only thing I see in the sky is David Tulis, the Superman of Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
After some patchy morning fog, expect partly sunny, dry, and warmer weather for your Monday. Getting better out there, highs upper 70s. Tonight, fair, lows into the upper 50s. Now for your Tuesday as well as the midweek, more nice weather on the way. Lots of sunshine, highs upper 70s to near 80. Account Temps provide salary ranges for more than 375 accounting and finance jobs. Learn more by visiting accounttemps.com/salary center. That's Account Temps, a Robert Half company. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
This is Judy Gammon, author of the award-winning book, Age to Perfection, How to Thrive to 100, Happy, Healthy, and Wise. And this is your Stay Young Medical Minute. Testosterone deficiency affects 50 million American men. While male hormones such as testosterone are important to sex drive, they're also important to bone health, mental clarity, and muscle strength. If you've been feeling tired, having trouble concentrating, or you feel as though you're not as strong as you used to be, talk to your physician about lab tests that can check your testosterone levels. Be sure to have both your total testosterone and your free testosterone checked to get a better picture not only of how much hormone you have, but your body's ability to use it. And as for you ladies, I bet you didn't know that you need testosterone too. Testosterone levels in women can take a nosedive in the 30s, causing weight gain, foggy brain, and lack of energy. This is especially true if you took the birth control pill for years. While the women don't need as much as the men, they still need enough to keep their health stable. Part of the reason both men and women seem to have more hormone issues now than they did years ago is due to our sedentary lifestyle, especially on the job. So if you have symptoms, talk to your doctor about having all your hormones checked and balanced if necessary. We want to empower you with as much health information as possible. Visit StayYoungAmerica.com for free podcasts of the Staying Young radio show and free medical minutes. Go to StayYoungAmerica.com.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Are you tired of feeling like just another account number to your financial advisor? Try something refreshingly different. Call Edward Jones Financial Advisor Patrick Neal in Hickson at 870-7894. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
That smells so good. Smells like a big Italian dinner. But you're going to walk out with two. Buy one hot pizza, get a one for free. 2 pizzas. You got the two for the price of one at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. my favorite Italian restaurant of all the time. Now, I'm living in Hicks, and I go to Raphael's right down the street in Hicks and Pike, right near Highland Plaza. You're in Starry Daisy? Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria in Starry Daisy. Just next to Starry Daisy Church of God. Hey, you're on Signal Mountain. There's a Raphael's Italian Restaurant and a Pizzeria. It's right on the main drag. You're going to love the pasta, the pizza. Buy one hot pizza, get a one for free. 2 pizzas. You get the 2 for the price of 1 at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Tastes so good. Bring the whole family. Come on, Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Mangia. Salute.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Happy birthday to you. We're going to celebrate today. Whose birthday is it? Is it mine? No. Is it Confederate Mike's? Nay, twice nay. It is Robert Goodard's birthday. He is the pioneer of the modern day rocket. Now, he was born about 4 years before Confederate Mike was. So he was born in 1882. So I guess Confederate Mike was born in 1886. But anyway, if you see him out and about, which I don't think you do, I'm not talking about Confederate Mike either. So, say, hey, man, thank you for the rockets. We appreciate that. The moon appreciates that. Mars is just extremely happy about it right now. Well, they're getting all kinds. They got a movie coming out. Mars has a movie that came out this weekend that did really well. And then all of the NASA publicity. So if you see old Robbie baby out there walking around, say happy birthday, man. Give him the old thumbs up. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. AM 1240. You're probably listening to us at hotnewstalkradio.com. Follow us on Facebook. I know you want to. You want to follow us on Twitter, because the thing about Twitter, you can be really interactive. Okay. You follow us on Twitter at Hot News Talk Radio. If you see something that's going on, Friday, man, traffic was terrible. The weather was terrible. We were getting tweets left and right. People are saying, here's an alternate route. Don't go this way. It's really raining hard here. And we really helped our listeners out, especially during the 5 o'clock hour. So make sure that you follow us on Twitter and then be interactive with us. If you see something going on, you report. We'll let Chattanooga decide. If the world wants to get involved, so mote it be. We'll let them get involved too. Tonight's the big debate. That's right. Christians versus Muslims. Winner take all. It's a handicap match. And why is it a handicap match? Because the Muslims don't stand a chance. I'm taking the Christians. I'm going to lay the 21 points, and boom, they're going to win. That's going to be a Dietrich Lecture Hall on the UTC campus. It is next to the new library. So it starts at 6:30. It's going to go to probably about 8:30 or 9. We're hopefully going to more than likely be carrying that live, and it's tonight and tomorrow night. What they're going to do is they're going to debate whether the Quran is evil or not, or then tomorrow night, they're going to debate that the Bible is the, true word of God. That's what they're going to do. So did my best spin on that. So get down there if you want to hear exactly what's going on. It'll be a great debate. And that starts at 6:30. Bubbles are all over the place. Ron Paul speaks to RT on U.S. economy and presidential race. And RT is a website. It's rt.com. The U.S. 2016 presidential race is a mass of entertainment orchestrated by the media. I would agree. Three-time presidential candidate and former Congressman Ron Paul told RT as he discussed frontrunner Donald Trump, the government, and the bubble-making U.S. economy. Have all kind of bubbles. We're just going to be bubbling up with all kinds of stuff. And he feels like, that there are several places that we're going to have, a problem, and where there is going to be a big bubble. It says he's getting a lot of attention right now. It's talking about Donald Trump here. He is an authoritarian. He wants to run people's lives and run the world and run the economy because that's the way he lives his life. On occasion, he comes up with a correct idea. But the authoritarian is the opposite of a libertarian. A libertarian wants to release creative energy to the individuals. And everybody knows that Ron Paul's a libertarian. We want to let the government out of our lives, out of the economy, out of these places around the world. It's quite a bit different from the way the authoritarian would approach our problems. So he's saying, look, he's saying there's a big downturn coming. Nothing's really happening yet. Paul says everything is misdirected because of the price of money. I would agree. These bubbles are in every place. You have a stock market bubble coming. You have a steel bubble making in the housing market, and you have a bubble in student loans. He feels those three are going to start bubbling up, and they're going to start popping, and it's not going to be a pretty sight. And, we're all going to be upset and mad, and we're going to go through 2008. If not, it may be worse than 2008. It may be, almost as bad as the Great Depression, but we still don't know. Now, you've got the federal government. And I like it. I want the federal government out of my life. I want him out of your life. I want the state government out of my life and your life, local and everything. And here's why. I'm partial to drones. I mean, I think they're wonderful. I think it's the coming technology, and I think it's the wave of the future for jobs. The FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, has missed a deadline from Congress for legalizing the use of non-military drones in the U.S. That's not like they found out in June that this deadline's coming up. Lawmakers had required the agency to craft rules for a widespread expansion of drones by September the 30th of 2015. In the 2012 funding bill for the FAA, the agency has not completely proposed the regulation. So they've had 3 years. They've had 3 years, and it slipped up on them. It just slipped up on them. The FAA has approved more than 17 individual drone flights, but the agency still says it's not ready to issue a blanket approval for drones to fly alongside commercial airplanes. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know anybody that's saying that. Who is saying that? Amazon's not saying that, and Google's not saying that. All of these big companies aren't saying they want to fly side by side. It's not like they're going to be carrying people around. Well, I can go to the airport and I can grab a drone, and then, all right, we got a caller coming in. Let's get this caller on the phone. Caller, you are on the air on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.
If it's in the federal government's hands, it'll be ruined. Of course they're not saying it. They make up both ends of the argument. They're going to lie because everything comes out of their big fat mouths or lies, and they're going to set a regulation for it. They ruined the powered parachute industry. And in 2000, there were 24 companies manufacturing powered parachutes. And the geniuses that were pilots, private pilots, said, we need to regulate these things under sport pilots and FCC licenses and so on and so forth. FAA licenses. It went from 24 to 2 manufacturers of powered parachutes. If you get the government involved and you regulate and overregulate, that's the definition of socialism and communism. They will put those businesses out of business.
And I would agree.
You guys with drones to tell them to kiss your
I agree.
butts or black butts and say we're not doing it.
I agree.
Find
totally.
your own damn business.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. And like you said, they're the way they're going about this, and the way the article says, in commercial flights, fly alongside commercial flights. That's not going to happen. That's just not the way the whole drone industry is going. How many commercial flights do you know are flying over somebody's farm to map it? Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe Delta. You're on the Delta flight from Atlanta to, let's say, San Francisco. And they make an announcement, hey, we're going to be about 45 minutes late because there's a farmer in Iowa that'd like for this commercial flight to go in and map it right quick. So we're going to fly over his farm a few times, and we're going to map that. Now those drones that were doing that, or that want to do that, they better not get in our way because we're a commercial flight. That's craziness. Drones, they don't want them to fly with commercial flight. Anyway, it's just like the caller said. Anytime the government gets involved, what good comes out of it? I'll ask you, the thousands upon thousands of listeners we have at Hot News Talk Radio, tell me, when the government gets involved, what good comes out of it? I can't think of one. It's just like, what great thing has Barack Hussein Obama done? Well, we can't have silence on the radio. So, we're going to go to the next subject. Please do this. The digital drive's coming up after me. Listen to the adolescent. He's going to talk about, can you profit on somebody's life, on somebody's death? How about intellectual property, and that's we're talking David Tulis from 9 to 11 type stuff here, intellectual property. Well, he's going to be talking about that. Can you really have intellectual property with the way the internet is today? That's going to be an interesting subject. Please call in on Clutch, Keon Rose. He's going to be down in the dumps. He's going to be crying. His Longhorns got beat. I think I heard this morning about 10:30 that TCU scored again on the Longhorns. So wish him the best. That's our sports show, Clutch. He's on from 1 to 2. After him's Laura Ingraham. And then we got the big dog, Sean Hannity, from 3 to 5. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. We're the hottest, the newsiest, the talkingest radio station in town. This is the Mr. Judd Show. Guess what? I will be back tomorrow from 11 to noon. Go ahead and set your calendar reminder in your smartphone to listen to the TuneIn app from 11 to noon tomorrow so you can hear me on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.